Humanity never expected danger to arrive from the silent sky. For many years, people believed they were alone in the universe, too small to be noticed, too weak to matter. But everything changed on the night the dark ships appeared above Earth. They did not come with sound or warning. They simply arrived like shadows covering the stars. At first, the world froze in confusion. No message came, no lights, no signals. Only cold shapes hanging in the sky, watching. Inside command centers across many countries, leaders tried to understand what was happening. Scientists searched every frequency, trying to find anything that made sense. Pilots waited for orders, unsure if this was a threat or a miracle. But deep inside every human heart, there was a simple truth rising. Whatever had arrived from space was not human, and if it was not human, no one knew if it was friendly. Fear began to spread, soft at first, then louder as people around the world saw the same thing. Something alien was here. In the middle of this confusion, one man named Captain Reynold Gray stood inside the Earth defense chamber. He was experienced, calm, and known for making hard choices. He watched the alien ships with careful eyes. The ships did not move, yet they felt alive, like predators waiting for the right moment to strike. Reynold sensed danger, even though no attack had begun. His instincts whispered that something powerful watched them from above. For 2 long hours, nothing changed. People waited, machines waited, even the alien ships waited. Then, without warning, a bright beam fell from the center ship, touching the ground outside the city. It was not an explosion. It did not burn anything. Instead, the light shaped itself into a doorway. A figure stepped out. It was tall, thin, with smooth silver skin and bright white eyes. More figures followed. No weapons were seen, yet they moved with confidence. They were not visitors, they were judges. Around the world, other beams opened. Similar figures appeared in different countries, but the ship above Reynold's city sent more than figures. Something large moved behind them, a shape too big to understand at first glance. When it stepped out of the light, the ground trembled. People stared with wide eyes as a massive creature appeared. It was dark, muscular, with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. It looked like a predator from a nightmare, created only to hunt. The aliens stood calmly beside this beast. They were not afraid. This creature was their tool. Reynold whispered, almost to himself, that humanity might be facing a test. The aliens wanted to show their strength, or maybe they wanted to measure Earth's fear. Before anyone could react, the creature roared. The sound broke windows and shook hearts. Soldiers aimed their weapons. Civilians ran. The alien figures did nothing to stop the chaos. They watched with cold interest. Reynold knew shooting would be useless. He ordered the soldiers to hold fire, though none understood why. He stepped forward alone, walking toward the creature. His movements were slow, carefully controlled. The alien beast growled at him, but did not attack yet. The aliens behind it looked curious, as if they wanted to see what a single human would do. Reynold had no plan. He only had courage and a strange belief rising inside him. He felt the fear of his people behind him. He felt the weight of responsibility. If he ran, the world would follow. If he fought, the world would also follow. But if he faced the creature with calm, maybe something unexpected could happen. He kept walking until he was close enough to see the creature's breath. The beast lowered its head. Its red eyes glowed brighter. Reynold could feel heat coming from its body. He spoke softly, though he knew it might not understand. He told it that humans did not want war. He told it that Earth was not weak. He told it that life did not need to be decided by fear. His voice was steady, almost gentle. The creature's growl softened for a moment. A strange silence fell over the area. People watching held their breath. The aliens tilted their heads, surprised. The beast moved forward again, sniffing the air around Reynold. It raised one huge claw, sharp enough to tear armor. Many believed that this was the final moment, but something different happened. The creature lowered its claw slowly, placing it on the ground beside Reynold instead of striking him. Reynold reached out a hand. His fingers touched the creature's fur. It was warm, alive, trembling with raw power, but it did not attack. Instead, it leaned closer as if studying him. The aliens exchanged looks, clearly shocked. This was not the reaction they expected. They had brought the apex predator to show terror, not peace. One alien stepped forward, speaking in a deep, echoing voice. It demanded to know how the human had calmed the creature. Reynold gave no clear answer. He only said that humans had learned long ago that strength was not only in muscles or weapons. True strength lived in courage, connection, and understanding. The aliens seemed confused. Their world did not work like that. To them, power meant control, fear, and force. Before any further words could be said, the creature pressed its head gently against Reynolds' side. It was a sign of acceptance. The aliens reacted with shock. Some stepped back. Some whispered in their own strange language. They had brought their strongest weapon, yet a human had tamed it with nothing but presence and calm will. Reynolds looked up at the alien leader. He could see something change in its eyes. Not fear. Not anger, something else. The moment felt heavy, as if the future had just shifted. Humanity was no longer the weak species they expected. Something deeper had been awakened on both sides, and this was only the beginning. The air around Reynolds felt strangely heavy after the creature pressed its head against him. People who had been hiding behind broken walls and fallen signs slowly peeked out again, unable to believe what they were seeing. Soldiers lowered their weapons but kept their hands close, uncertain if this new calm would last. The massive predator breathed softly, almost peacefully, as if it had chosen Reynolds as something familiar. The aliens, however, did not share the same peace. Their shock grew clearer with every passing second. One of the alien figures stepped closer, its movements sharp and tense. The smooth, silver skin of its body reflected the bright lights from the hovering ship above. Its white eyes watched Reynolds with growing confusion, maybe even a small hint of fear. For the first time, the aliens no longer seemed confident. They were unsure, surprised by something they could not explain. Reynolds kept his hand on the creature, hoping calmness would remain. The beast stayed close to him, its glowing eyes now softer, less wild. The alien leader raised one long hand and touched a device on its arm. A deep hum filled the air, followed by a wave of shimmering blue energy. The creature beside Reynolds flinched but did not pull away. The leader spoke in its echoing voice again, demanding that Reynolds step back. But Reynolds did not move. He kept standing there, steady and calm. He asked why they brought such a dangerous creature to Earth. He asked what they wanted from humanity. The alien leader hesitated, clearly not expecting to be questioned by a species they thought weaker. Finally, the alien replied. They were observers of many worlds. They judged civilizations to decide if they were ready to join the greater galaxy or required control. Earth, in their eyes, was too violent and unstable. They believed humans could not be trusted without guidance from stronger species. To prove human weakness, they released the apex predator. They expected humans to panic, fight among themselves, or fall quickly. Instead, the creature bonded with Reynolds. This outcome did not match anything in their records. Reynolds listened with a calm face, but his heart felt tight. The aliens came not to destroy, but to decide Earth's future. Still, bringing a weapon like this creature was not peaceful. He told them humans did not fear challenge and would not bow to force. His voice carried the weight of many watching people. The alien eyes narrowed, not in anger but in deep confusion. They had studied humans, yet they had misjudged them. Before the leader could respond again, another alien ship descended from the clouds. This one was larger, darker, with patterns glowing across its hull like living veins of light. When it landed, the ground shook gently. A new group of aliens stepped out, wearing different shapes and armor. These were not observers. They looked like warriors. Their weapons glowed faintly at their sides. They walked with strong steps, following a taller alien who carried a staff with bright markings. The first group of aliens quickly bowed their heads, showing respect or fear. Reynolds watched silently. The tall new alien scanned the area, its eyes passing over humans, soldiers, buildings, and finally the giant creature beside Reynolds. The alien warrior leader tilted its head slightly, studying the strange bond between human and predator. It touched the markings on its staff, causing them to glow brighter. When it spoke, its voice was deeper, stronger, with a tone that felt like an order. It asked the first alien leader for an explanation. The observer answered quietly, explaining how the creature had chosen the human instead of attacking. The warrior listened without blinking. Then it walked closer to Reynolds and stared directly into his eyes. Its gaze was cold, sharp, trying to measure something inside him. Reynolds did not look away. The warrior alien tapped its staff on the ground. A circle of light formed under the creature. The beast growled, uncomfortable. Reynolds tightened his hand on its fur. He asked what the warrior was doing. The alien replied that the creature must be taken back for study. They wanted to understand why it reacted this way. Reynolds refused. The creature had done nothing wrong. Taking it by force would only bring more danger. But the warrior did not seem to care about danger. It cared only about control. The glowing circle grew brighter. The creature stood up, confused and uneasy. It looked at Reynolds and let out a soft rumble. Reynolds stepped closer, whispering calming words. The creature lowered its head again, trusting him. The aliens watched, shocked once more. This level of trust should not have been possible between two different species. The warrior alien grew impatient. It tapped the staff harder, increasing the circle's power. The creature let out a pained sound. Humans watching began to shout, some begging the aliens to stop. Soldiers raised their weapons again. The tension turned sharp, like a stretched wire ready to snap. Reynolds shouted at the warrior alien, telling it to stop hurting the creature. The alien paused, surprised by Reynolds' voice. It asked why a human cared so much about a beast created for destruction. Reynolds said that humans did not judge life the same way. Even a dangerous creature deserved respect. The warrior studied him in silence. Then something unexpected happened. The creature stepped out of the glowing circle on its own. The circle flickered and broke. The aliens were stunned. The staff was designed to control the apex predator completely. No creature had ever resisted it, yet this beast had done so for a human. The warrior alien stepped back, finally unsure. Whispers rose among the alien groups. Their weapon was no longer fully under their control. Reynolds placed both hands on the creature, calming it once again. The aliens realized something they had not seen before. Humanity had a strange, powerful connection to strength and fear. They did not break under pressure. They did not surrender to terror. They faced it, understood it, and sometimes even tamed it. The warrior alien lowered its staff slowly. The confusion in its eyes was clear. For the first time, the aliens wondered if humanity might be something far more dangerous than they assumed. And the silent question filled the air. What else were humans capable of? The warrior alien stood silent, its glowing staff slowly dimming as it lowered the weapon. The crowd of aliens behind it shifted nervously, their bodies stiff with confusion. They had expected a fast judgment of Earth, an easy test where humans would fail. Instead, they witnessed something that challenged everything they believed about strength. Reynolds kept both hands on the predator, feeling its breath grow steady again. The creature's trust had become stronger, like a silent bond forming between two very different beings. People watching from behind rubble felt a small spark of hope inside their hearts. Maybe humanity was not as helpless as it seemed. The warrior alien stepped closer again, though this time with slower movements. Its voice carried less force, more curiosity. It asked Reynolds how he created this strange connection with the apex creature. Reynolds answered honestly. He said he did not create anything. He simply refused to fear the creature. He faced it with calm and respect, and the creature responded to that. The warrior alien tilted its head, trying to understand. Their world taught them power came only through fear and dominance. Reynolds' words did not fit into their logic. Before anything else could be said, another alien ship drifted down from the sky. This one was smaller but more elegant, shaped like a silver crescent. It opened softly, releasing a gentle blue light. A new alien figure stepped out, different from both the observers and the warriors. This alien was taller, thinner, with markings across its skin that glowed like soft stars. Its presence felt peaceful but strong, as if it carried great knowledge. The other aliens immediately gave space, whispering among themselves. This one was a diplomat, someone who had authority to speak decisions. Reynolds kept his eyes on the new arrival. The predator beside him lowered its body, sensing something unusual. The diplomat alien raised a hand in greeting and spoke with a voice calm as flowing water. It said it had been watching from the ship and needed to understand humanity better. It approached the predator and Reynolds slowly, showing no aggression. The creature growled lightly, then quieted when Reynolds placed a hand near its neck. The diplomat studied the predator carefully. It said the creature had never behaved like this with any species before. It was created to obey commands, cause fear, and crush resistance. Yet here it stood like a loyal companion beside a human. The diplomat asked Reynolds again how this was possible. Reynolds said humans were not perfect, but they were capable of deep connection, even with things that seemed dangerous. He said humans learned to tame wild creatures on Earth not by cruelty, but by patience, care, and understanding. Humanity respected nature, even when nature was fierce. The diplomat looked thoughtful. It turned to the warrior alien and spoke in a language humans could not understand. The warrior's eyes widened, then lowered respectfully. The diplomat then faced Reynolds and said that humanity's actions had created a new question among them. Perhaps Earth was not a world of chaos. Perhaps humanity had qualities that their judgment system had never measured before. Reynolds felt the weight of the moment. He sensed something important was about to happen. But before the diplomat could continue, a sharp alarm echoed through the alien ranks. Several aliens activated their devices quickly. The warrior alien staff lit up again. The observer aliens looked toward the sky, worried. Reynolds followed their eyes and saw something alarming. A dark shape appeared above the clouds, moving fast, then another, and another. They were not human ships. They were not part of the alien council. These were something else entirely. The diplomat's voice grew tense. It said that a rival alien faction had followed them here. They were hunters who believed only in conquest, not judgment. They wanted Earth for themselves, and they would not respect any peaceful process. The warriors prepared for battle, but the diplomat warned that the hunters were extremely dangerous. If they attacked Earth, humanity would suffer greatly. Reynolds asked why the hunters came now. The diplomat explained that the unusual reaction of the apex predator signaled something powerful to the hunters. They sensed potential in humanity, and potential was something they wanted to crush early. The sky cracked with the roar of new engines. The hunter ships descended, darker and sharper than the council ships. Energy cannons glowed along their sides. People ran for cover again, terrified. Soldiers raised their weapons. The predator growled deeply, sensing threat. Reynolds stood firm, feeling the creature's tension. The diplomat placed a hand over its chest markings, activating a shield around the council aliens. But the shield did not cover the humans. Reynolds asked if they would help. The diplomat hesitated, then admitted the council was forbidden from interfering in direct battles. They could only observe unless attacked directly. The hunters knew this rule well. They would strike humans only, forcing the council to remain passive. Reynolds clenched his teeth. Humanity was about to face a new enemy, and this time, no test or judgment protected them. The predator lifted its head, eyes glowing brighter than before. It seemed ready to fight. Reynolds touched its side, feeling its strength. The creature had chosen him earlier, but now the decision felt deeper. It sensed danger to the human who had shown it kindness. It growled at the sky, preparing itself. The first hunter ship fired a blast of red energy toward the city. The explosion lit the sky with fire. Buildings shook. Windows shattered. The predator roared loud enough to drown out the blast. Reynolds turned to the diplomat. He said humans did not start this war, but they would not stand without defending their home. The diplomat looked at him with something like respect. It said that if humanity survived this attack, the council would be forced to reconsider Earth's future, perhaps even invite them into the greater galaxy. But first, they had to live through the storm. The predator stepped in front of Reynolds, shielding him from falling debris. The warrior aliens prepared defensive lines. The hunter ships circled, ready for a full attack. Humanity stood on the edge of fear again, but something different burned inside them now. They had an unexpected ally, a powerful creature that trusted a human more than its alien creators. And when the hunters began their descent, the world realized the battle for Earth had just begun. The first hunter blast left a burning trail across the sky, and the shockwave rippled across the ground. People screamed and ran as debris fell, and alarms echoed from every direction. Reynolds stood close to the predator, feeling its heavy breath and deep growl vibrating through its body. The creature leaned forward, muscles tense, ready to defend him. The hunter ships circled overhead like giant metallic vultures, their red lights glowing with deadly purpose. The warrior aliens formed defensive lines, spreading out in a pattern designed to protect only themselves. Reynolds saw it clearly. They were planning to survive, not to save Earth. The diplomat alien watched the chaos with troubled eyes. It said that the hunters did not come for simple destruction. They wanted fear, control, and dominance over any world they touched. If humans surrendered, the hunters would enslave them. If they resisted, the hunters would bring destruction until nothing was left. Reynolds tightened his fists. The world behind him was filled with innocent people hiding, waiting, hoping for someone to stand for them. The sky crackled again, and another hunter blast rushed downward. This time, it aimed directly at the predator and Reynolds. The creature reacted faster than any human could. It swung its massive body, knocking Reynolds off his feet but covering him with its armored frame. The blast struck the ground behind them, sending dust and heat into the air. Reynolds coughed, trying to rise, but the predator pushed him back gently, as if telling him to stay down. The creature then roared up at the sky, a roar filled with fury, fear, and something deeper, a promise to protect. The warrior aliens watched with confusion and shock. They had never seen the apex creature behave like this. It was supposed to follow alien commands, yet here it was defying everything to protect a human. The warrior leader looked at the diplomat and asked if this new bond was dangerous. The diplomat answered that it was unusual, powerful, and unpredictable. It said the creature was evolving, reacting to the human in a way their science never predicted. This made the hunters even more interested. The apex predator was valuable, but a predator that bonded with a human was something entirely new, something the hunters would want to capture at any cost. 3 hunter ships broke formation and descended lower. Their sides opened, revealing dark armored figures inside. These hunters were not like the Council aliens. They were built for war. Their armor reflected red light. Their bodies were tall and thick with muscle. Their movements were sharp and cold. They dropped to the ground with heavy thuds surrounding Reynold and the predator. The predator growled, lowering its body as if preparing to attack. Reynold moved closer to it, placing a hand on its side. The creature calmed slightly, enough to focus its rage. The hunters spoke a rough, twisted version of the Council language. They demanded the creature be surrendered immediately. They said humans were weak and unimportant and should not stand near such a powerful being. Reynold stared at them with a calm but strong expression. He said the creature did not belong to them anymore. It had chosen its place. The hunters laughed in a disturbing, echoing way. They pointed their weapons at the predator, preparing to forcefully take it. The creature responded with a fierce roar that shook the ground. The diplomat stepped forward, trying to negotiate. It told the hunters that Earth was under Council observation and they had no right to interfere. But the hunters ignored the diplomat. They said the Council could keep its rules, but they followed a different law, strength. They stepped closer, ready to attack. The warrior aliens prepared to defend themselves, but none seemed willing to protect the humans. Reynold felt fear rise in his chest, but he pushed it down. He spoke softly to the predator, telling it to focus on him, not the hunters. The creature listened. Its heartbeat slowed, its growl deepened, and its eyes locked on Reynold. The hunters noticed this strange connection, and one stepped forward, raising a glowing capture device. It released a chain of red energy that lashed toward the creature. The predator leaped aside, avoiding it, but the hunters continued firing. Reynold knew the creature could not dodge forever. In that moment, something inside him snapped. He stepped in front of the creature, shouting at the hunters to stop. The hunters paused, surprised by the humans' courage. Reynold told them humanity did not fear them. He said humans had faced danger before, storms, war, disease, and monsters of their own world. They survived because they stood together. He said the apex creature was not their weapon anymore, and if they wanted it, they would have to step over him first. The hunters watched him in silent shock. No human should dare speak like that to them. The predator moved behind Reynold, placing its huge body close as if shielding him. The hunters were confused by this unusual protection. The diplomat whispered to the warrior aliens that something important was happening. A bond like this had never been recorded in their history. It changed everything about the test of Earth. One hunter stepped forward again, holding a larger weapon. It aimed direct. Smoke drifted across the ruined streets as the hunter ships disappeared into the clouds. The ground was still warm from their blasts, and the air tasted like metal and dust. People slowly came out of hiding once the noise faded, but their fear did not disappear. They looked at Reynold and the predator with wide, unsure eyes. To them, this creature had been a monster only moments ago. Now it stood beside Reynold like a massive guardian. The scene felt unreal, like something from an ancient legend that suddenly came alive. The diplomat alien approached Reynold with slow steps, its glowing markings dimmer than before. It said that the Council would need time to understand what happened. The hunters never retreated unless they felt truly threatened. The Council's warning shot had stopped them for now, but they would not remain away for long. Reynold looked at the sky, still dark with smoke, and asked how much time humanity had before the hunters returned. The diplomat answered softly, not much. The hunters hated failure, and they hated unpredictability even more. Earth had shown both. The predator beside Reynold growled low, sensing danger still hanging in the air. Reynold placed a calming hand on its side, feeling the creature relax. The diplomat watched with fascination. It said the predator's bond with Reynold was growing quickly, too quickly. It almost seemed alive in a new way, thinking and reacting beyond its design. Reynold asked if that was dangerous. The diplomat did not answer directly. Instead, it said that powerful bonds create powerful consequences, good or bad. The warrior alien stepped forward, its staff glowing faintly again. It said the council needed to take the creature for study. They wanted to understand how the bond formed and what it meant for their judgment. Reinold stepped in front of the predator protectively. He said the creature would not be taken anywhere against its will. The warrior alien argued that this was not a matter of choice. It was a matter of galactic safety. If the hunters returned and found the creature unprotected, they would not only take it, they would weaponize it. Reinold agreed the creature needed protection, but he insisted it would not leave Earth without him. The warrior alien looked at the diplomat for guidance. The diplomat thought deeply, then nodded. It said forcing the creature away might break the bond and cause harm. For now, the creature should remain with the human it trusted. This decision surprised the warrior aliens, but they obeyed the diplomat without argument. The street grew calm for a moment, but the silence felt heavy. People watched from a distance, unsure if they should come closer. Reinold turned to them and raised a hand, telling them it was safe for now. Some soldiers approached carefully, lowering their weapons. One of them asked Reinold how he managed to control the beast. Reinold answered honestly. He said he did not control it. They understood each other. The soldiers nodded slowly, still unsure but trusting Reinold's judgment. Suddenly the sky flickered with a strange light. A thin tear opened in the clouds, stretching wider and wider. The diplomat gasped softly. It said the hunters had not waited at all. They were preparing something new, something far more dangerous. The warrior aliens activated their shields, forming a protective circle. Reinold looked at the tear, his heart sinking. A new ship emerged, but it was different from the others. Its surface pulsed with crimson energy, and its shape looked almost alive. The diplomat whispered that it belonged to the hunter commander, a being feared even among the hunters themselves. The predator stood tall, its muscles tense and its eyes glowing brighter than Reinold had ever seen. It sensed something powerful coming. The ship opened slowly, releasing a deep vibration that shook the ground. A tall, armored figure stepped out, its armor covered in glowing red veins. Its face was hidden behind a sharp metallic mask. When it spoke, its voice was like two voices echoing at once. It accused the council of interfering in hunter business. It said the predator belonged to the hunter race by ancient right. It demanded the creature be handed over immediately. The diplomat replied calmly that the predator was no longer theirs to command. It had made its choice. The commander laughed, a cold, echoing sound. It said creatures did not choose, they obeyed. It raised a large device shaped like a dark crystal, and a wave of red energy shot across the ground. The predator roared in pain as the energy pulled on it, trying to drag it forward. Reinold held onto the creature, shouting for it to resist. The creature fought back, digging its claws into the ground, but the energy pulled harder. The warrior aliens prepared to attack, but the diplomat raised a hand, stopping them. It said any direct attack on the hunter commander could start a war across the galaxy. Reinold shouted that war would start anyway if humanity fell. The commander's device glowed brighter, pulling the creature closer. The predator cried out again, its body trembling. Reinold refused to let go, even as the force dragged both of them across the ground. The commander shouted that humans were weak, foolish, and unworthy. It said Earth would serve as the hunter's territory when the creature was taken. Reinold felt anger rise inside him, burning deeper than fear. He shouted back that humans were not weak. They survived storms, disasters, war, and their own mistakes. He said humans earned their place in the universe, not through power, but through heart and determination. The predator's glow intensified suddenly. A bright blue light burst from its body, breaking the red chains of energy. The commander stumbled back, shocked. The creature roared with incredible force, a roar that shook the sky. The blue light wrapped around Reinold, protecting him. The hunter commander hissed in anger, realizing the bond had reached a level beyond control. The diplomat whispered in awe. It said the creature was evolving again, breaking free from all old commands. Reinold felt the creature's strength flowing around him like warm electricity. The commander raised its weapon again, but this time, the predator stepped forward with new power in its eyes. It stood beside Reinold not as a beast, but as something rising beyond its origin. The battle for Earth was about to change again, and the final struggle was coming. The predator stood glowing with bright blue light, its body surrounded by a soft energy that moved like living fire. The hunter commander stared in disbelief, unable to understand how a creature designed for obedience could break free from its control. The warrior aliens stepped back, unsure what this transformation meant. The diplomat watched with wide eyes, realizing something far greater was happening. Reynolds stood beside the creature, feeling its warmth and strength flowing like a shield around him. He had never felt anything like it. It was as if the creature was not only defending him, but sharing something deeper, something powerful and ancient. The commander regained its balance and raised its weapon again. Its mask glowed with red symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. It shouted that no creature could resist Hunter command. It demanded the predator kneel, but the creature did not kneel. Instead, it stepped forward with steady steps, lowering its head in a gesture of defiance. The hunters watching from their ships above hummed with anger, sending more ships down toward Earth. The sky darkened as their shadows spread across the city. Reynolds looked toward the Council aliens. He said that if they wanted to understand humanity, then now they needed to stand with them, not just observe. The diplomat hesitated. Its rules were clear. Direct interference was forbidden. Yet something about this moment felt different. It placed a hand over its glowing chest markings, and the lights brightened. It raised its arm and signaled the warrior aliens. They activated their staff weapons, forming a barrier of blue energy in front of the humans. For the first time, the Council chose to stand beside Earth. The commander roared with rage. It declared that the Council had broken ancient law. The hunters prepared their weapons, aiming at both the humans and the aliens. The ground trembled as their ships charged up for a final attack. The predator moved closer to Reynolds, pressing its forehead gently against his shoulder. It growled softly, as if telling him not to fear. Reynolds placed his hand on the creature's head, feeling a strange mix of courage and sadness. He knew the final moment was coming. Humanity was standing between two powerful alien forces, and the outcome would change Earth forever. The commander took one last step forward. It aimed its weapon directly at Reynolds. It said humans were insignificant, that they could not change destiny. But Reynolds answered calmly. He said destiny was not something pushed onto them. It was something they shaped. He said humans did not rise because they were strong. They rose because they refused to give up. His words carried across the ruined streets. People hiding in fear slowly stood up, watching with trembling hope. Soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons, ready to fight even if the chance of survival was small. The hunter ships fired first. Red beams shot downward, shaking the earth. The Council warriors blocked the blasts with their glowing shields, but the shields began to crack under the force. The diplomat shouted for the warriors to hold position. The ground split in several places from the impact. The predator roared, lifting its body high, and a burst of blue light exploded outward. The blast struck the hunter beams, breaking them apart in midair. The hunters were shocked. The creature's power had grown beyond anything they had imagined. The commander leaped directly at the creature, swinging its weapon. The predator dodged and slammed its heavy tail into the ground, creating a wave of force that knocked the commander backward. The hunter crashed into a broken wall but rose again quickly, angrier than before. Reynolds ran beside the creature, staying close to its legs, knowing it sensed his presence. The commander attacked again, this time faster, aiming to strike Reynolds. But the creature lunged, blocking the blow and pushing the commander away with incredible strength. The sky filled with more hunter ships, preparing a combined strike. The diplomat shouted that the next attack could destroy half the city. Reynolds looked at the predator and felt a strange connection. As if hearing his thoughts, the creature lowered itself, inviting him onto its back. Reynolds climbed on without fear. The creature stood tall, its blue glow growing brighter. The hunter commander stared in disbelief. No human had ever ridden an apex predator. This sight alone felt impossible. The predator leaped into the air with incredible power, landing on a fallen building and then springing again, rising toward the hunter ships. Reynolds held its fur tightly as the wind rushed past him. The creature roared at the sky, its roar echoing through the clouds. The hunter ships aimed their weapons at it, but the creature moved too fast, dodging blasts with sharp turns and powerful jumps. It reached the closest ship and smashed its claws into the hull, tearing through metal. The ship exploded behind them, lighting the sky with sharp fire. The Council warriors below raised their staffs and fired blue beams upward, helping clear the hunter forces. The diplomat directed them with sweeping gestures, guiding their attacks. Slowly, the hunters began to fall back. Their ships retreated, losing formation. The commander roared in fury, refusing to accept defeat. It jumped high, grabbing onto the predator.